The Montana winter was relentless, a merciless beast that howled through the valleys and buried everything in its icy grip. Snow piled high on the roads, and the wind whistled through the pine trees like a mournful song. For Jake Thompson, life had always been a struggle, but this winter was proving to be the hardest yet. Ever since his wife passed away 3 years ago, Jake had been raising his 5-year-old daughter, Lily, alone. His hands, rough and calloused from years of construction work, were the only shield between her and the harsh realities of life. Work was slow during the winter, and the bills kept piling up. Some nights, he ate less so Lily could have more. But through it all, he never let her see his worry. He was her rock, her protector. That evening, after finishing a long shift at the hardware store, Jake was driving home in his old, battered pickup truck. Snowflakes the size of quarters hit the windshield, making it difficult to see more than a few feet ahead. As he turned onto the isolated highway leading to his cabin, his headlights caught a sleek, black luxury car on the side of the road. Its hazard lights blinked weakly, half buried in the snow. Jake slowed down and pulled over. He grabbed his heavy coat and stepped out into the freezing night, his boots crunching through the snow. As he approached the car, he saw a figure inside, a woman, wrapped in an expensive fur coat, her face pale with worry. He tapped on the window, and after a moment of hesitation, she rolled it down just enough for him to see her wide, blue eyes. "Hey there, ma'am. You all right?" he asked, his deep voice cutting through the wind. "My car, it just stopped," she said, her voice trembling. "I don't know what happened." Jake took a quick look at the engine inside. "It's frozen solid. This cold can kill a car like this real fast." He glanced at her. "You can't stay here. The temperature's dropping, and there aren't any hotels for miles." She bit her lip, clearly unsure about accepting help from a stranger. He saw the hesitation in her eyes and softened his tone. "Listen, I live just a few miles down the road. It's not much, but it's warm, and I've got a little girl at home. You can stay the night and call for help in the morning." After a long pause, she nodded. "Thank you. I really appreciate it." Jake helped her into his truck, cranking up the heat as they drove through the snow-covered roads. "What's your name?" he asked, glancing over at her. "Olivia," she said, rubbing her hands together for warmth. "Nice to meet you, Olivia. I'm Jake." When they reached his small cabin, Lily ran to the door, her curly golden hair bouncing as she gasped. "Daddy, who's that?" "This is Miss Olivia," Jake said, shaking the snow off his coat. "She's staying with us tonight." Lily's face lit up. "You can have my blanket. It's the warmest one." Olivia let out a soft laugh, kneeling to Lily's level. "That's very kind of you." Inside, the cabin was small but cozy. A fire crackled in the stone fireplace, casting a golden glow over the wooden walls. The smell of pine filled the air. Olivia sat near the fire, watching as Jake made them a simple dinner of soup and bread. They talked as they ate. Olivia told them she was from New York, traveling alone for business, though she didn't share many details. She seemed fascinated by Jake's life, his struggles, his dreams, and most of all, his love for Lily. Jake, in turn, noticed things about her. She had a grace about her, a presence that hinted at a world far removed from his own. But there was something else too, an exhaustion in her eyes, a loneliness she tried to hide. By the time Lily fell asleep on the couch, Olivia stood by the window, watching the snowfall. "You're a good father," she said softly. "Lily's lucky to have you." Jake chuckled, rubbing the back of his neck. "I don't know about that. I just do my best." She turned to him, her expression unreadable. "That's more than most." The next morning, the storm had passed, and a tow truck arrived to take Olivia's car. As she prepared to leave, she turned to Jake. "Thank you for everything. I won't forget this." Jake shrugged. Anyone would have done the same. She gave him a small smile but said nothing more. And then, just like that, she was gone. A life-changing letter. Weeks passed, and Jake assumed he'd never see Olivia again. Until one evening, when he checked the mailbox and found a thick, official-looking envelope. His heart pounded as he opened it, unfolding a crisp letter. As he read, his hands shook. The letter informed him that Olivia Kensington, one of the wealthiest businesswomen in the country, had gifted him and Lily a new home, fully paid for, along with a trust fund to secure Lily's future. Attached was a handwritten note. Dear Jake. Your kindness in my darkest moment reminded me that there is still good in this world. I hope this gift helps you and Lily the way you helped me that night. You gave me warmth when I had none. Now, let me return the favor. With gratitude. Olivia Kensington. Jake stared at the letter, unable to believe what he was reading. Tears burned his eyes as he looked over at Lily, who giggled as she played with her stuffed rabbit, completely unaware of how their lives had just changed forever. That night in the storm, he had helped a stranger, never imagining she was a billionaire. But he never did it for money, he did it because it was the right thing to do. And in return, kindness had found its way back to him in the most incredible way. As he held Lily close that night, watching the snowfall outside, he whispered, "Looks like we've got an angel watching over us, sweetheart." And somewhere, miles away, Olivia Kensington smiled as she looked out at the same falling snow, knowing she had done something truly meaningful.